Good morning. Good morning, everyone. So, we are getting ready to start. So, thank you all for taking time out of your morning to join us for our virtual orientation. I I am the college orientation specialist here at our Shiprock Branch campus. Yat F. My name is Crystal White. Hoan Fanan Nishla Jose Tachini Ebashichin, Ashiha Dasha Chedo Kilichine Dasha Nole. I have my colleague here, Autumn Brown, who is also the college orientation specialist. And we're here to provide you with this session today, and I'll give a moment for her to introduce herself.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today in our Zoom link or also on Facebook. We are live on, we're letting everyone know we're live on Facebook too. My name is Autumn Brown. Like Crystal said, I'm the orientation specialist in Tsaile at the Tsaile campus. So, yeah, I hope you guys are able to gain a lot of information today. And if you need any additional help or have questions, go ahead and put it in the chat box or let us know as we're going along.
All right. So, we really want everybody that is joining us to please sign in. Autumn has shared the link within the Zoom chat. And if you haven't received it, please send us a message and we'll try to share that link with you so that way for participating our current students that are fully enrolled, attending orientation, you'll receive your NSO swag box. So I am getting ready for our presentation. And, we like to host orientation very laid back, where, if you have a question, feel free to post it in the chat, raise your hand, and one of us will get back to you to answer your question. And we serve all our students at all our sites and centers. We're just not specific to our main campus or here at Shiprock Branch. We want to ensure all our students feel well prepared to start the fall semester. And so here at our institution, our goal is to make sure you have, the resources that you need to start your journey here at our institution successfully. So with orientation, we will highlight areas in technology and the different types of student support services that are there available to you. And as we were saying, we have several sites and centers, throughout our Navajo Nation. And so Tsaile, Tuba City, Windsor Rock, and Shiprock Branch campus, as well as Crown Point, and we have two microsites of Newcomb and Anna. Diné College, we have our framework built upon the Saga Nagayibik Ehojon. And with our SMBH framework, we utilize it to think about the process of you thinking of returning, if you're a returning student coming back to our institution, or if you're a new student considering which institution to attend. You start having those processes. You're in that Nasaha Kes thought process. And then you take that next step of planning, your action step. Like, I'm going to go ask questions this day, see what it takes for me to return back to campus, return to school, or start your journey. And so when you come to campus, you get that reassurance by our staff. You conversate, with our staff here, whether you're talking with the academic advisor, you're talking with the receptionist, admissions, registrations, and you're getting guided to the process of enrollment. And now, attending orientation today, that means you are fully enrolled into our institution where you can now be in that phase along with us. We're here starting this journey for fall semester. I'm preparing for our first day of classes, which starts August 12th, next Monday.
And Crystal, could we go back to that last one, please?
Mhm.
And so what I like to do here is the Sanagapik Ehojon is yes our framework and our mission for the college, but it's also something that we do on a regular basis. So it's not just we can't just apply it to school. We can also apply this thought process into our regular day lives. You know, in the night of where we're planning, we're waking up in the morning and we are setting our day up. We're picking out our outfits. We are planning where we're going to go, whether if it's gas, whether if it's work. You're also putting in there too, where you're going to put in homework, where you're going to pick up the kids. All of that is in our thought process in the morning. And then as we continue into our living process, this is where we are actually getting gas. And this is where we're actually picking up the kids, where we're going to work and we're living that out. And then as we continue into the sikhs and the assuring, this is the part where everything is balancing out and everything is working for us. And then into our thinking process is kind of where at the end of the day, we're reflecting on our day and we're looking at the good and the bad and some of the good things that happen and some of the bad things that happen. We're kind of reevaluating and figuring out how we can make the day better tomorrow. Well, maybe it was your outfit, it decided to rain that day, and or maybe you were wearing heels or something. I know this is only relevant to the ladies, but maybe you're wearing heels and you ended up walking a lot of different places, so the next that in that end of the night, you are kind of reevaluating and fixing how you can continue forward. And the whole point of it is the creating the balance within your life. So that's something that I like to point out is that we're always living this thought process, and then also how we apply it here within our schooling and within our academic journey too.
All right, thank you. And so as we move forward, we will focus on our technology that we use, mainly the apps within my Diné College portal. And so it all starts off with our main Diné College website. Within our website, when you think of a website, you commonly think of a website just hosting a lot of general information about the organization or institution itself. Um, but it's very relevant for us as current college students, who, we can take time aside to take a deep dive into our website itself. You can always schedule those one-to-one appointments with Autumn and I, where we're able to, show you how to order your official transcript, order your textbooks, review the online library website, and everything, like what I mean by deep diving into more of our Diné College website. But, we as students on a daily basis will get used to using www.dinecollege.edu, where we are logging in to our DC portal. And so, we encourage students to get familiar with this website and getting access to your DC portal on a daily basis. It through Diné College is once you sign in using your credentials, logging into my DC portal, you will come up to a similar app page. I noticed since yesterday there's a few apps that have been added on with my DC portal, but those apps are commonly used by staff as well. So being a staff faculty, we also have access to my DC portal, and students also have the same interface of my DC portal as well. So we will review what are the most common used apps within the portal itself. We have, we have IT Help Desk, My Diné College, Canvas, Microsoft 365, Connix Ed, the bookstore, DC Library, as well as the financial aid online and Canva that are commonly used by students almost on a daily basis. And of course, we know instances can happen, where, we have trouble logging in. Maybe we don't see all our classes listed, within our Canvas app, or maybe we lock ourselves out of our account. And so with issues like that, we have our IT help desk that are able to help guide us through the processes on how to solve and resolve our issue. We do have a current student loan laptop program as well. So if you're a student that does not have a device to access your classes, feel free to reach out to us and we're able to get you signed up to receive a student laptop loan. Um, you know, but any issues in contacting IT, the process is to give them a call. Currently, our IT department has a contract with IT Black Belt to give you that 24/7 support. The phone numbers are listed there along with our main campus IT support. Within, the updates and current changes, within the summer session, we have transitioned from our former learning management platform, which used to be Blackboard. We have now integrated into using Canvas. And along with that change, we've also changed our mass notification alert program. It used to be Alert Media, and it is now our Rave Mobile Safety. So with this transition into Canvas, Canvas is generally used for students to get informed of what your classes is. This is where you're going to log in. You're going to get your syllabus. You're going to be turning in assignments. You're going to be interacting not only with your instructor, but also your peers there. And if you need a more deep dive into how to utilize the Canvas platform, definitely again, reach out to us so that way we are able to provide you that workshop to get into Canvas and navigate your courses. And then we also have Connix Ed. We are really pushing students to utilize this platform. And Connix Ed is a student service management platform where you are able to make an appointment with a department that you are trying to get in contact with. I know a lot of our students are trying to meet with advisors, especially right now, since we have on-site registration happening. You know, this this platform allows you to create an appointment to a department or a member or staff team member, to guarantee you that time slot. If you are needing any guidance with your student mental well-being, we have our student mental health coordinators also accessible on there. We have our career education service department accessible on there, admissions registrar, financial aid. Most of our internal departments are listed within our Connix Ed platform. Um, Through the Connix Ed platform, you can make those appointments coming in face to face to have those appointments. You have the option of having a telephone appointment, and you even have the option of doing a video message platform, because we all live busy lives. And so, we try to make it most accessible and convenient for our students to arrange times for you to get your services. So, I really highly recommend you all to check out our Connix Ed platform and just play around with it. We even have our learning center on there where you can make appointments with tutors, take advantage of our Dropbox, where you can submit your assignments, like if you have a research paper, an essay, or a writing prompt that you want somebody to give you feedback on, you can upload it there, and our tutors are able to provide you that extra overview, and make some edits and changes so that way you feel confident submitting your assignment. So, but if you need, again, another in-depth tutorial, definitely reach out to Autumn and I were able to do that. And then we also have our Diné College alert notification program. So through our Rave mobile safety, it took over our alert media. So, I'm going to use this week for an example. We know we had a network outage, that affected all of our sites and centers, earlier this week. With the platform, we were able to be notified of the situation that was happening, through this program. But, there's also times where, it could send out another mass notification if there's any weather related issues within the institution itself. We know winter weather is going to be soon upon us. So, we know that will also affect the operation of the college itself. So in case if there's any school closures, school delays, you can be notified in this platform. So we highly encourage students to also ensure that you are signed up to receive those alerts. We also have our Microsoft 365 app I like to say this is an app within an app itself. So with the Microsoft 365, students will have access, not will only have access to your Diné College Outlook mail, but you'll have access to the commonly used apps of Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, in our cloud storage space, OneDrive. Each student has a terabyte worth of storage space that they can use. And I always encourage students to um, have always utilize it as a backup or maybe your primary source of utilizing an online platform storage space just in case of anything because we know technology can fail at our most needed times, and if storing your documents, your homework, your assignments on our storage space will help you you know have a backup in case of any of those worst case scenarios. And again, if you need an in-depth tutorial on how to utilize Microsoft 365 effectively, definitely reach out to us. um, And currently, we have our Follett bookstore. So with our Follett bookstore, this is where you can order your textbooks. Currently, we do have our bookstores located at Tsaile and here in Shiprock, but our bookstores do not carry textbooks. Our retailer is our Follett online bookstore. That's where we um, guide students to order your books, and through Follett, you're able to utilize your book charges. With those book charges, you can order your textbooks in the physical form, or sometimes the digital options are also available to you. And as we get into some habits to success, this is our student support services. Um, it all starts off with our admissions. Depending on the program that you are in, majority of our incoming students are being admitted as into our associates programs. But and it's never too late to even inquire about a bachelor's degree program or an undergrad degree program. However, some of our programs that we do offer, require additional admission requirements, which could be essays or letters of recommendations and things like that. So these are the programs that, have those additional requirements. But if you are in one of these programs or interested in one of these programs, definitely reach out to us and we can point you in the right direction on knowing what those requirements are. So we currently have our tuition um, grant in place, but it is slowly going away. As you can see, within the fall semester, everything was 100% covered. As we are currently in the fall semester, we have our tuition that has been marked down to 50%. We have our books still 100% covered. Rooms, if you're a residential student, there it's knocked down to 50% as well. Meals for students is not covered by your grant no more. However, our activity and our technology fee are 100% covered. To be eligible for this grant, you must maintain passing grades. So demonstrating a grade of C and higher is a must, and also making sure you have a 2.0 GPA to qualify. This is for full-time and part-time students, and also the student must be in good academic standing with the student code of conduct as well. For an example of how much of tuition rate has changed is that currently our per credit hour is $55. A full-time student could be taking 12 credit hours. So at $55 per credit hour, that goes up to $660. So with the grant in place, 50% of that is $330. If you have any questions, you want more details on this tuition grant, and the benefits of it, you can definitely reach out to any Autumn and I, or you can reach out to our financial aid team, or to will give you more information on it. And so with our financial aid and scholarship office, their goal is to provide all students with information to resources to financially support your education. And that, goes through the process of ensuring that you have completed your FAFSA. So, we encourage students to complete their FAFSA every academic year. And, if you have any questions or you need that extra guidance and support in completing it, you can definitely reach out to our financial aid team. Those students that have not completed your FAFSA, definitely refer to your student federal school code, and you have the option of also searching by state and for where the school is located. And if you are opting for that option, definitely look up Arizona because, like I said, our main campus is considered Tsaile. Even if you are a student attending our Shiprock Ranch campus or one of our centers, you'll definitely continue to look up Arizona, go to Tsaile, and then Diné College to populate for the FAFSA. And we know that there are thousands of scholarships out there. If you as a student do your research, and you look at the qualification or the criteria for you to be eligible for the scholarship, this is just a limited list of scholarships that have been awarded to students. These are the most commonly applied to scholarships that have been received by students. And each of these scholarships have their own eligibility criteria. If you need some general information or how to apply for these scholarships, you can definitely reach out to financial aid and they're able to assist you in that manner too. Diné College also offers some internal scholarships, and each of these scholarships can be program specific as well. So if you have any questions on any of these scholarships, again, reach out to our financial aid team. They'll be able to assist you. And then being a New Mexico resident student, we have some grant opportunities as well. And going more into the depth about our book charges for fall semester. So our book charges are available through our Follett online bookstore, and each student has been allocated $700 worth of book charges. So if you're buying options that are available through Follett is rental, used books, new, or your digital ebooks. You would just need to provide your student ID in order to take advantage of the book charges. There's opportunities for you to rent or buy the book, but if you are renting, just keep in mind that you're going to need a valid credit card or valid debit card or credit card information to be stored within the Follett account. And that will be held for any incidentals of those late charges on the books or damages to those books that you've rented. However, if those books are not online, that means the instructor has not submitted that book yet to Follett. So, we always encourage our students to converse with the instructor to see if they can add the book to Follett if they don't see any books listed there. And also, if you don't see any books listed there, definitely reach out to your instructor too and say, are there any textbooks required? I want to order my books so I'm prepared for classes. And of course, here's our financial aid team. These amazing team are able to assist all of our students, no matter what campus you attend. If you prefer sending an email, definitely send the email to findaid@dinecollege.edu. So each of our team members are able to receive that same email. Whoever is available or whoever knows the answer to your question will respond back to you in a timely manner. And also, if you prefer calling, we have our phone numbers for the main campus and our Shiprock site as well. And as we get into academic advising, I know right now, since on-site registration is happening, we have our advisors that are doing their part to ensure in preparing our students are prepared for fall semester. However, it's just not during registration when you can see your advisors. Our advising team is available for any support that you may need throughout your academic endeavors. And so we have advisors that are willing to do some letters of recommendation, whether you are applying for scholarships or you're applying for job opportunities and so having these conversations with them will allow you to gain that support from them. And also, if you're planning on transitioning to another institution, maybe you want more, you want to go into a more higher degree program, when you're completing your degree here, you want to make that transition. They're able to help navigate, that system for you where we can try to make it as seamlessly as possible. We can converse with your next chosen institution to see what courses that are transferable. And maybe there's still courses here at Diné College that you can still take in order to transfer over, or vice versa. Maybe you're trying to go from another institution to our institution, so they bridge those gaps as best as they can. So in case you have any questions, you can always reach out to our advising team at dcadvisors@dinecollege.edu. Again, it's sent to every advisor available. Our advisors are just not available to those specific campuses. They're able to assist all students at all of our sites. And of course, computer lab access is always a question at hand. Here at Shiprock, we have a variety of computer labs that are accessible for our students to use. At our Shiprock North Campus, we have 2 computer labs that are commonly open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Shiprock Branch, here at South Campus, we have our Learning Center. Right now, we are starting off with Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. However, we go based on the needs of our students. And I always encourage our students to advocate for themselves by saying, I wish our center was open later because, I work or I have to take care of my kids, and so we try to arrange times where we are open at a later time. Spring semester, we were open from 8 to 7, Monday through Thursday, and we started off strong, but then our students weren't showing up, and so that's why we're starting our fall semester off with 8 to 5. But if we see the need there, because students are coming in advocating for themselves, saying, I wish I had computer lab access, in the evenings, we can try to make those arrangements. And then even within our library here at South Campus, our library has their hours for fall, Monday through Thursday, 8 to 7, and Friday, 8 to 5 as well. Then we also have our centers and our microsites. Currently with our Crown Point Center, they're open Monday through Friday from 8 to 5, and then their library is open on Monday through Friday, 1 to 4. So, you have access to computers there. Our NF microsite, is open Monday through Thursday, 9 to 3:30, and Friday, 9 to 4. They do close from 12 to 12:30 for lunch, just to keep that in mind as well. Currently, our Nuka microsite is currently closed because we do not have a manager there. However, once that changes, we'll update our information. And of course, at main campus, we have the library that's within the first floor. They're open Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5, and Fridays on 8 to 4. Their learning center at main campus, located in the student services building, is open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. And of course, at the NHC on the 3rd floor, they're open Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5. So Autumn, during these times, do they close any time for lunch? Do you know?
I believe they remain open
Okay.
throughout the day.
Okay,
Then
awesome.
also with the library here at the main campus during midterms, they do extend the hours. I think last semester I saw the library open up until 11. I think that would be really good information to know, especially during midterm time.
Yeah, so during our high peak times, we include midterms and finals. We tend to operate, later in the day to better serve our students, So, that's why I always encourage students, to ask questions and advocate for yourselves, because we do listen to our students, and we provide those suggestions when we have our staff meetings, and so that's how we're able to accommodate our students a lot better and serve you, as best as we can. And so, of course, within our institution, safety is always a top question. And our security team, they provide 24/7 surveillance, on all our sites and centers. They are also there to enforce on process necessary policies and procedures and rules and regulations, that are institutional, state, and federally mandated and Navajo Nation mandated as well. And all of these policies can be found within the student code of conduct. Um, they also enforce dormitory housing contracts as well as traffic and parking regulations and other regulations that may be instituted by the college itself. And so at our main campus, our security office is located there. Autumn can give more of a description of where they're located on campus, you know. But I like main campus how it's everything's just in that circular motion. So it doesn't matter what side you enter, you'll still be able to navigate to the security office. And of course, we highly encourage students to save the phone numbers on their cell phones in case of anything if they need that extra support by security. But here at our Shiprock site, we have two security offices. On our North Campus, they're located, if you come in on the gym side, when you come in through those doors, you'll see their logo on that glass office, glass window, which shows their office. And then here on South Campus, they're located within the student classroom building on the second floor. And again, our security team always has their cell phones readily available as well as their office lines. So again, save these phone numbers in case you'll ever need them, because you just never know. I always tell students, first thing you think of when you think of security is, uh, an event where, maybe they're experiencing some violence, so you automatically think of those worst case scenarios. However, being students, being staff, faculty, sometimes we forget certain things because we're preoccupied. Maybe we forget that we left our lights on and we go out to our vehicle and find out our battery died. Or maybe we left our keys in our vehicle. Our security teams has those basic tools to help give us that battery jump or even get our keys out of our vehicles. So, that's why, it's always good to have their information on hand just in case of anything like that. And then also on each campus, we do have our emergency phones too. So in case if there's any emergencies, you can click that button on our blue lights and where it'll be sent to dispatch. And then you can contact our dispatcher that way as well. And of course, um, anything can happen at any time, whether it's a small, easily managed disaster emergency or a large scale mass disaster, So here at our institution, we have procedures in place, that to ensure everyone is safe, and I always encourage students to review these emergency procedures, which can be found on our Diné College website as well, should any event like this occur, so you'll have that background knowledge on where you can evacuate to, where you can go to, to make sure that you are safe. And if you are needing to stay within the building, where are those safe zones, So that's where those procedures come into handy. And, for example, here at Shiprock Ridge campus, we have two sites. We have our North campus and we have our South campus. The red square rectangles indicate, our safe zones for evacuation. And then the purple square indicates a place where we can go in case of an active shooter situation. And of course, the H represents our helicopter landing spaces. And Diné College um, also has drills. So don't be surprised if you come in one day, you're here on campus, and there could be possibly a fire drill just to keep the process, just to make sure that everybody knows where to evacuate to safely. But as we transition into some federal laws, we have our Title IX. And so Title IX is a federal law that prohibits discrimination based on sex or gender, including any acts of sexual harassment and relationship violence. So here at our institution, we will not tolerate any types of those discrimination, harassment, or violence in our community. So we believe that nobody has a right to harm you or to make you feel uncomfortable. If you or someone you know is a victim of discrimination or harassment and violence, you can definitely contact our Title IX coordinator. Um, as of today, I know that we don't have a Title IX coordinator. However, we still enforce this policy. Definitely reach out to our security team or one of our staff, and we can definitely guide you to the process of how we're handling those situations. And as we get into some support services, our support services that are included within our institution are peer mentors. Through the peer mentor program, our mentors are there to assist you with getting around campus, getting you some additional homework help, or maybe, just having that relatable peer-to-peer network. So, then we get into our student mental health coordinator. And with our student mental health coordinator, they provide resources for you for your mental well-being. Uh, you know, such topics. They also host a variety of different workshops and different opportunities to focus a lot on like to be less stressed, to prevent procrastination, to prevent burnout. So they're there to help guide the students. They are not counselors or diagnosticians, but they'll help provide the resources to refer you out for those support services. And then as we transition into our career education special department, I'll have Autumn talk more about this.
Yeah, great. So at both of our campuses in Tsaile, and also at the Shiprock campus, so those are both the pictures there. We have career education specialists. So we have three, and they offer services to help you and your transition from being in college and getting a career or a job. So they'll offer things like resume building workshops. They'll offer some experience through the Ascendium grant. So here they offer students to work on campus and gain firsthand experience with different positions here on campus. So this is at the main Tsaile campus. But in addition, they're also hosting college fairs and getting you really exposed to the career aspect after college and getting your mindset after that. So, and really applying your degrees that you'll be earning. So I would definitely reach out to them when you need it and take advantage of those resume building workshops because you never know when you're going to need it. And also just to have those skills in general. So that's our career education sessions. Then I just kind of want to go back to the peer mentors. The peer mentors are located here on the main campus as well. So they are students who are helping students. So they're actually located right here, right behind the building that you see there, right behind those four windows. And they are there for additional tutoring services. And also so I'm a student too, and one of the ways that I used them was to help set up essays. So it's been a really long time since I've been in school, and they assisted me with setting up an APA format essay. And then they also helped me get research going through the online library. So that was really, really helpful. So I would suggest reaching out to them if you needed that additional support in your school and you want to get the peer one-on-one aspect instead of going to a staff. So peer mentors. All right. Can we go to the next slide, Crystal?
Yes. But I also wanted to add about the career education department. They are offering internship opportunities too through the Ascendium internship. So, this works well for students that are wanting to work, but also continue to prioritize being a student. And so with the Ascendium paid interns, they're allocated 20 hours per week at $15 an hour. So, with this experience, it's something that you can add to your resume and also gain work experience as well. So, But if you want more information about that, definitely reach out to our career education team.
All right, so we have learning centers also available on our campuses. So if you guys have picked up so far, we are going back and forth between kind of all of our campuses and really focusing on resources that are available for you at all of our campuses. I like to stress when I'm talking to students that we're not just students at the campus you are registered at. So you are welcome at any one of the colleges or any one of the campuses that was mentioned earlier. So that's the reason why we keep going back and forth and mentioning both all the information and resources available throughout all of our campuses. So at learning centers, we have one main one here at the Tsaile campus. So this one is located in the student union building. So here is where you'll find the tutors and then also just a bunch of resources for you. They have handouts like on all of the Navajo classes. I mean, anatomy, numbers, um, even some really basic like phrases that you could do. So even if you're not taking Navajo classes, I mean, that's still really beneficial. And then also they have stuff for math classes at all levels. So one of the ones that I always kind of stands out to me is like the order of operations. So it's based on levels and they have those available. I do believe that they also have a setup in Canvas when you first log on. So if you are not able to come to the campus here, you still have access to all of their resources there on the main page when you first log on to your Canvas. And then we also have a learning center also at our Shiprock campus too. Chris, do you want to provide what is offered there?
Yeah, so with our learning center, we have not only computers and printing capabilities, scanning and copying, but um, we have a collaboration between our learning center at Tsaile as well, where we share the same tutors. And so, I know that's a struggle with our institution, with students, they prefer in-person tutoring, but we are also searching for tutors. So if you're interested in becoming a tutor, definitely reach out to your learning center and seeing how you can offer those services to our students too. Um, but within our learning centers, we coordinate a lot of different types of workshops, to provide different types of resources and strategies to enhance your capabilities of understanding the content that is being delivered within your course. And then also our learning centers hours tend to fluctuate based on the needs of the students too. So like I said, if you are a student local within the Shiprock area and you want to take advantage of our learning center after hours, advocate for that. And then that's why we also have our microsites. Our microsites are serving as those learning center spaces. And if we like I said, our coordinator there, Sasha, she is there to provide us guidance as best as she can, and then even as our student first team, when we're visiting our sites and centers that we oversee once a month, you're able to get that in-person experience along with us.
Great. So the other thing that we also have are student support specialists. So these people are here to go to if you need an additional services. One thing that was brought up yesterday in the main orientation here on campus was grants or scholarships for veterans. So this was a question that the student support specialist would better answer. So if you have anything that you need from student support specialists, especially if it's veterans or any additional accommodation, you would reach out to them and you can reach them on Connect Ed. So please keep that in mind if you need those additional services. And then overall, as student orientation specialists, Crystal and I are here to help new and transfer students and even some returning students, get really in the realm and feel of things for school. We want you to be as accessible as you can be and really give you those tools and resources for you to utilize on campus so that way you're successful throughout your academic journey. But again, we are also available on ConexEd as well. And then for any email, you can also send that to us and we will receive that and respond. And we're really good at responding. So please, if you needed anything, we'll do our best to get some information to you.
And then going back to our student support specialists, they are also there to reach out to students, that um, are becoming on the alert notification system, and what the alerts that they receive is that maybe you're not doing so great in one class. They'll check in with you to make sure, how else they can better support you. We have some students that are struggling, with um, accessing their technology. Maybe they just need that extra hands-on guidance to submit assignments. Maybe that's just something small like that. But then we also understand there are many external factors that impact our education. Maybe you are taking care of your kiddos, or maybe you have your elderly parents or your grandparents that you're also assisting. Or maybe you're trying to find that healthy balance between working and being a student, you know. So, we try to accommodate students that try by writing different strategies. Maybe you just need some extra strategies on how to time manage. Maybe you just need to know how to utilize a planner, or, or structure your schedule so that way, you have something to go by every day just until you build upon that habit. Additionally, if you are needing any additional accommodations, whether it's a short-term or long-term disability, whether it's a physical or learning disability, they are there to help support you. Only way they'll know how to support you is if you disclose that with them. There's a process for that to also take place, but having those conversations with them, they'll be able to provide you with that support. And then, as we were saying with student orientation, this is not the only time you get to see Autumn and I. We're going to be here available to you. Autumn and I are also current students. So, that's why we know the struggle of being a college student. We're trying to maintain, our other responsibilities of not just being an employee and just not being a student. We are also mothers ourselves, and so we're trying to find this balance, within um, all of the different responsibilities that we do have.
All right, so we have our resident life here. So all of our information there. So their mission statement there is just to provide you with a safe and a healthy living environment while you're living on campus. So we have Sharon, Melissa, Tanea, and Mercedes who are also over there, in addition to all of the RAs that are stationed within the dorms. So I believe now the dorms are all full. So each dorm has 16 rooms and each one houses 2 students. So um, each dorm in general houses 32 students altogether. So that's just some quick information for you guys. I know that when we are coming into the college setting and also applying for the residence life in general, it goes really quickly. So if that is something that you're interested, make sure you start making inquiries now for like the spring semester or even into the summer semester. I know that there are some things that kind of take a long time, especially with the background, which is in our next slide, with the list of things that we need to apply for the residential halls. So again, if that is something that you were interested in, please feel free to reach out to our staff at the Residence Life at dinecollege.edu to get more information for our spring and summer sessions. All right, next slide, Crystal. Our next few slides. In addition to the single housing. They also have the family housing too. So again, that is something that goes fairly quickly. There is, and the residence halls are located only on the Tsaile campus. So within the family housing, what's the next one, Crystal? the Within the family housing, they are 2 or 3 bedroom housing and they're fully furnished. So this is another great opportunity available for our students here on the main campus. So another group that we have here is the Wellness Center. So I know that I saw some comments in the box earlier about IDs. So the Wellness Center is actually where you get your ID at the main campus. So the Wellness Center is creating a healthy and safe environment. So they are doing a lot of activities. So when our emails get flooded with all those Diné College announcements, most likely they're the ones who are doing fun events. They do tie-dyes, they do dances in their dorm, in their office, which is in a dorm over at Oak Hall. And they're doing a lot all the time. So I know that some things that they're doing next week is the welcome week. So I know that they have a waffle social that's happening on Wednesday. And then as the week continues, they have different things that are happening, and then they have staff that are specifically for different groups of students on our campus. So we have a lot of commuter students who are coming. So we have a person who is hosting an event specifically for that group, or thinking of events for that group, and then also another one who just came on. So he's Isaac. And then the next one who came on, Trevor, he is looking at our residential students and students mainly on campus. And then we also have Johnny, who integrates activities with all of the Navajo aspect and really putting our Diné culture into the activities that they are hosting. And then Kamika is doing all of the stuff involving health. So another great thing that's happening next week with them is on the 15th, we are hosting the Just Move It here on the Tsaile campus. So if you guys are around, join us on that event or and any of the events that are happening next week. Some of the things that they offer in their office are billiards, ping pong tables, and then air hockey, which is really fun. And then also meditation mat. I know that they had massage chairs, but they don't. I think they're inoperable right now. They have a smaller fitness room, a media room, music where you can rent guitars, and private study rooms, the computer labs, conference rooms, and this is where you get your ID. So again, if you haven't gotten your ID, you can come here on campus. I know that their stock is sometimes limited when you do get an ID. So make sure if you're going to be coming to campus to contact one of them to see if they have some available. And um, yeah, Krista, do you want to explain where you can get IDs there? I know that, again, we can answer that question.
Yes. So here at our Shiprock site, you would contact our admin assistant located at North Campus. Her name is Charlotte. Um, in the next in a few more slides, you'll be able to see her contact information. But students that are attending our Crown Point Center, you can also reach out to Peggy, who is the secretary there. And so in order to get your student ID, you'll need to bring in your current course schedule as well as your ID or driver license. Okay, Autumn, you're on mute.
Oh, want to go to the next slide? Okay. Oh, I already said that. So another thing that I wanted to add here, since we're kind of going over all of the departments and throughout our week of orientation, I've noticed a lot of things that we need to add and kind of like an organization of stuff. So having this all week has been super beneficial for us. So we, oh, while we're on the topic of IDs. Thank you, Alita, for the question. You can go to Allison's at the Tuba City campus. So that is something that I need to add to our presentation for to be inclusive of all of our sites. Tuba City is a slide that we need to put in there. But Allison is a person you want to go to at Tuba City. And so we have another part of one of our departments here online, and we're going to ask her to speak about her program. And it's really great for you guys to hear too. So Amanda, um, can you join on? So Amanda is a part of our um, groups here on campus, and offers, she's from the mentor circle, so they're the ones who are doing all of the, um, my brain just went blank because, oh, there you go. Why don't you tell them what you do, girl?
Okay. Yes. Hello. Good morning, everyone. My name's Amanda Hubbard. I am part of the Mathematics Mentor Circle. I'm here to assist you with all your mathematic courses. We generalize through the general education mathematics from Math 100 to Math 190. There is also included the Math 213, which is the statistics. We're here to support get you ready to get in this new platform that majority of the instructors do want to register for their courses. So I can put in my contact information. I can also give it to Autumn as well. Um, we can assist you getting you registered for your courses. We can assist you contacting the correct staff member to support you in any way. So um, yeah, I'll have a brief presentation, but it will be added in with Autumn and Crystal to more information on who we are and what we do. But yeah, I'll put my contact information, but verbally, you can contact us at mentorcircle@dinecollege.edu if you need assistance with any of your math courses. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Amanda, for joining us today. We love that you are here to represent your department and giving our students more information. So we are getting back to our presentation. So I think the screen that we had up when we last, it was up, it was the library in Shiprock. So Crystal can give us some information on that.
Yes. So, our Shiprock Library, is considered a community library as well. So, we have benefits of being a student there. There's a designated space, a computer lab for students to use that is not time restricted. And they even offer printing services. And that's where your Warrior Student ID card comes in handy because your Warrior ID card also serves as your library card. This will give you access to utilizing the study rooms that are available at our Shiprock Library and even those printing options. But those Go Print printers are not only limited to the library specifically. I know there's printers available, at our different sites as well, So that's why we try to encourage students to make sure they get their Warrior ID cards. Because eventually, the goal for our IT department is to have those Go printers available to students where they just swipe their card and, they'll be able to retrieve their prints in that manner. And also when you are, a student, you can use your Warrior ID card to charge. You can utilize this to charge your student account, whether you are at main campus and you want a meal, at the cafeteria, you're able to swipe it there. Or maybe you see something you like at the Diné College bookstore, you're able to charge the supplies onto your card. Um, getting your Warrior ID card the first time is free. However, if you do lose it, there's a fee of $25 to replace it. Um, and again, all you would need to do is bring your course schedule in and the state issued ID or driver license.
Yeah, and here at the main campus, some ways that they utilize your ID card. So if you're unsure if you should get it, so one of the ways that they do use it is if we are checking out books, they hold your cards or they swipe it for you. And then also going to the gyms. So if you are going to check out like a volleyball or basketball, they'll hold your ID. And then also you can put money on there too for like stuff to get food at the cafeteria. So just some ways. Oh, in addition to study rooms to access to that. And then if like at the wellness center, of course the study rooms, and also if you wanted to rent that guitar that they do have over there, then you would have it. So it is important to have your ID card in case anybody was kind of questioning if they needed it or not. Great. So, Inian, again, we've been stressing ID card, and I know Crystal had mentioned this already. So, in Shiprock, you're getting your ID with Charlotte at the North Campus, and then here at the Tsaile campus, you are getting your ID at the Wellness Center, and then in Tuba City, you are getting it with Allie in the Learning Center, right as you enter in the Tuba City campus.
And then, of course, some additional tasks for students to complete is definitely review the student code of conduct and also the course catalog of 24-25. The course catalog has a lot of good relevant information for you as a student, such as all the academic policies, understanding, how if you know, don't do so great, not pass your classes, what are the consequences of those actions? You know, you'll get on, what is the difference between being on probation and then, what comes down to if you do get on suspension, how do you get out of those situations? And then even if you're wanting to know what your class is going to be covered, the course that you're enrolled in, if you go towards the back end of that catalog, you'll be able to see the course offering and gives us a summary of what that class will be about, you know. And then even within the course catalogs, you have the academic calendar. So that way, the important dates and deadlines of certain times, if you're considering adding a class, when's the last day to drop? What holidays are observed as the institution level? When does early spring registration begin? We really want students to take advantage of those early spring registration events as well. So that way, you are preparing for your following semester and guaranteeing you are sticking with your course plan as well. Because we are reaching to a point of where students are, needing specific classes, but they're either closed because they're already full at max capacity. And so, that's why we always encourage students to start thinking about spring registration when it begins in mid-October. So, when those emails and information goes out about, from either from advising or from the registrar's office about courses being open, take advantage of those opportunities. So these are some healthy habits to help get you started. And I know attending orientation, virtually with us at this moment, may seem like a lot of information. So, you can always definitely reach out to us. Here is our contact information. We're here to help guide you throughout your academic journey here at our institution. You know, and as we said, Autumn and I, we basically live off of our experience as we conduct orientation. We have those same questions, we have those same stresses, and very similar experiences that we do encounter here.
All right. So yeah, in addition to what Crystal said, please reach out if you have any additional questions that you. What I say too, I was a teacher before, is if you have a question, maybe somebody else has the same question. So yeah, well, I guess we'll wait a little bit to see if anybody has any concerns or anything. Okay. So Catherine, I think this is a direct question to us, and If you could stay on a little bit longer, we can try to assist you, but you could also contact your advisor. I think that most of the classes right now are going. I don't think that there has been any cancellations of any classes, but like you said, there is a limit of how many students need to attend that or need to register at least.
Yeah. So, Catherine, if you do go check out the course schedule on our Diné College website, you will see a column of registered students and their, I guess, their max enrollment. So you can just keep checking that to see how many are enrolled right currently, and then, if there's any rooms. So, I know our registrar does their best to keep that course schedule updated, with the actual numbers of students attending. But, if your course is, knock on wood, I know that's a stressor, not knowing if your class is going to be canceled or any changes implemented, is to definitely look out for those emails by registrar. Registrar will send out an email saying, this class has been canceled, this class has been changed, or anything in that manner. So, um, how do I get a copy of my class schedule for my student ID? So, if you log on to my DC portal and you go into my Diné College, you click on the student ID tab, the tab or the hyperlink for students, and then it'll generate a whole listing. Within, you'll see three big buttons located there, and you'll see course schedule. You'll click on that, and then there's going to be another hyperlink that's going to say view details, and you click on that, and you're going to do the drop down of the term. So you'll go to 2024 fall semester. Once you do that, it'll generate your course schedule. But scrolling a little further down, you'll be able to view the hyperlink for the PDF version. So you can download that, you can print that from there, so that way you have that accessible. Parking passes for the semester.
They're
I think,
$5 at
yeah.
the office.
So you can pay for that at the business office or here at Shiprock at the cashier's office. For students, they're $5. Um, and they can be utilized at any of our sites. So, you just pay it once, and things like that.
All right. So the question with the book. So yes, definitely reach out to your instructor about that. So at this point, Friday, the day before class, or the last day before classes are starting, or business day, it should be there. But I know I have seen some that are not there. So definitely reach out to your teacher. Again, this is a good common practice for everybody to do if you don't have an introduction in your class, I would reach out to your teacher and just talk to them and let them know that was something
Yeah.
that has been helpful for me. And just let them know that that book is not available and just say that you are trying to get it and you want to be successful for your class starting
Yeah.
next week. But in
And
addition to getting onto the Full Up Bookstore, they'll also provide you a ISBN number, and somebody mentioned Chegg. That is definitely a great spot. That's where I did all of my undergrad rental book services from. Enter it in there, or you can just enter it into a regular Google search. Look on Amazon too. So when you do go out of the Full Up Bookstore, you're going to have to pay out of pocket for that. So just note that as well. And if it stays within the Full Up Bookstore, you are able to utilize that book voucher.
And then on top of that, with if you have placed your book order on Wallet or any other external sites, definitely communicate with your instructor to let them know that you placed your book order and you have not received it yet.
Yeah.
Usually instructors, are lenient with students within the first week. And sometimes they provide maybe the first or second chapter, to you. So until you receive that book. However, don't rely on them for the remainder of the semester to do that for so if you need help and guidance on ordering your textbooks using the book charges, definitely reach out to us and we're able to help guide you in that manner. I know I virtually told you how to find your course schedule as well. If you need that visual, we can always set time aside to do that for you too. Um, I know that we're very limited to what we can show you on our live orientation right now. But we need more one-to-one guidance. That's why Autumn and I are providing those services too.
And then one thing that I would suggest doing too is looking on your syllabus. Sometimes the teachers provide links directly to another site for the books. Maybe it's already free and they're providing the link that's there and they're going to email it to you once the course set up. I don't know if anybody has logged onto their Canvas. I did, and I saw that we don't have access to the courses until today at midnight. So if you still are wondering about your books, or if you're in the situation of not having your books yet, log on tomorrow to see if it's in the syllabus. And the syllabus is definitely something I would make sure to look at this weekend before classes start. So that way you are as prepared as you can be next week once classes start up.
All right. So are there any other questions before we transition and close out our session today? And we just want to make sure that everybody please sign in. We have been sharing the sign in link within the chat. And even those are attending on Facebook Live, we have our chat there. And Miss Autumn has also sent out the survey link. So please complete those as well. The current students that are fully enrolled for fall semester that signed in and completed the survey, you'll be eligible for your orientation swag box. It's a box that has a lot of good goodies in there. We don't want to disclose what's in there because we want you to be surprised. And we can arrange a time for how you can pick those up or how those can be delivered to you. So,
Yeah,
I know there's a lot of different, situations where we know some students struggle with having reliable transportation. And so, maybe you can also arrange a time where we can send it to your nearest local Diné College site. So if you're a student attending closer to the NS site, we can use a courier system to have it delivered there and you can pick it up from there, for example.
yeah, for sure. I think that's going to be our easiest way to get it to the campuses, especially to the city. We will definitely get it sent through the mailing system, and then Allison is already aware that I'm gonna be sending some boxes to her since I was there previously this week. So I can definitely send your box with that group too.
Yeah. And this orientation session will also be saved through our live stream. So if you've missed out, you came in late, you can always go back in and watch it there. But if you need more one-to-one guidance, we also offer that too. I know just sharing the visuals of a presentation style of orientation, sometimes you just need that um, experience of actually you going through your own my DC portal to navigate the system as well. So that's always an opportunity.
Yeah, so and then also, just a heads up, if you are around Tsaile campus, we are hosting a on-site orientation today in the activity room. So if you are around, if you needed to, please come out to the event today. They will be set up in there all day. And again, they're in the sub-building, sub-activity room, and we have advisors in there. We have admissions in there. We have a career education specialist, financial aid, so they're all in one location, convenient for you. So please feel free to reach out today directly if you needed it, and let us know if you're coming to campus so that way we can expect you and we can give you your box directly too.
Yeah. Yeah, and even here at our Shiprock site, we're doing on-site registration. Where our team is here, to ask any, for you to ask any questions. We have our financial aid advisor here located on South Campus today. So we are here 8 to 5 as well. And but Autumn and I are available too, even if you want to make an appointment sometimes next week when classes begin. I know that's when a lot of our students come in with questions because they start panicking I don't see my class. I don't know where to go. What time do I go to my class? Can you help me? So, you know, we all experience that same rush, but we will start our semesters off successfully, especially with you attending orientation today, you know.
Mhm.
Um, Other than that, though, I think that's pretty much everything. And of course, Amanda has shared, everything about the math mentors. She has sent the information how you can contact them there. So, but thank you all for joining us for our virtual orientation. We will sign off now, and I hope
And
you guys have a great
also, just a
start
quick
of the
shout out
semester.
before we leave. If you are in the Facebook Live, please make sure to click on that link that is in the description on top of our video. Please sign in so that way you can get your swag box as well. And then also we posted the post survey there too. So
Yeah,
please make sure you fill that out for us so that way you guys can receive your box too. But thank you everybody for coming on, taking time out of your day if you're at work or if you're at home, you took time today to continue to give yourself the right tools and to be a successful student. But welcome everybody to Diné College and let's have a great fall semester.
yeah. So, and then also really make it a best practice to check your email, the Net College email. We have a lot of good events happening, and we even have a lot of good resources. And one thing that I also forgot to mention earlier is that our Warrior Parent Success Coordinator, her name is Ashley John. She provides a lot of resources for our students that are parents, you know. She's trying to expand her services to all sites and centers. Last semester, she was mainly focused on Shiprock and Tuba City students, but now she's expanding and where she is trying to bring in different types of resources to provide opportunities for those student parents. We have a food pantry going on here at our Shiprock site, and again, she wants to expand it to the major sites and centers here. So if you're interested in that, I can share that information with you all too. So, but thank you all for attending today. There's um, a student saying that link doesn't work on
Yeah,
Facebook.
I'm going to post it. I'm going to do this share screen now so that way you can see my screen. And I'll leave this open for a little bit so students can go ahead and get their sign in and also the post survey completed really quickly.
Okay. So again, if you have any questions, contact us. Our contact information is currently placed on the screen, and scanning those QR codes as well. Um, but we're available to assist you throughout this semester and as you're a student here at Diné College.
Okay, well, thank you, everybody. Have a good day.